Guys, Sanch here. Welcome back to another episode of Bodybuilding News today. In today's episode, we're going to be doing the complete lineup as of now for the 2020 Romania Pro in the men's open bodybuilding class. So, if you guys are interested in hearing about that, make sure you guys stay tuned. Now, obviously, in the last video, we already covered Samson Daoda, Regan Grimes, Patrick Johnson, and Mark Hector, who isn't competing here. We already covered those guys, so we're in this video we're going to be specifically talking about the new entries and my thoughts on their competitive history and what I think that they can bring to the table here at the Romania Pro. And it looks like the last time we saw Jeff on stage was in the best package was at the 2017 Toronto Pro, where I believe he placed third, and he actually looked really, really good. So there is a chance that he could be coming in with good conditioning. Looking at his Instagram, it doesn't look like he's going to be bringing 2017 level of conditioning, but I definitely hope to see him bring the best that he can. Will he be in the top six? That's hard to tell. It's really going to come down to getting on stage to seeing what he's going to bring to this show. Next, we have Slavaj Badar. And the last time we saw Slavaj on the stage was at the 2020 Europa Pro, where I believe he placed 11th was the last time I saw it. And he had really good conditioning for the most part. The hamstrings looked pretty good on those back shots. The conditioning in the midsection could be improved. And he does look a little watery as he gets down to that lower back. The back lat spread, very watery. I don't know if we're going to be seeing him in this top six, but best of luck to Savage. And a new entry that I just noticed as recording is Lionel Bayeki has jumped into this show. That is huge. Lionel Bayeki has not competed in quite a while. And like I said, the last time we saw Lionel on stage was actually in 2018, where he placed 5th at the Cali State Championships and 6th at the Arnold Classic, Ohio. So he's been off stage for a while now. We're very excited to see him get on stage here. I know that he is one of the favorites of one of the guys from Fuad Abiad's podcast. He's always mentioning how Lionel Bayeki could be potentially the next Phil Heath if he could just get the conditioning and stage presence locked down. So very big news to see that Lionel has hopped into this lineup. A French native guy, so not too far of a drive to get there. But like I said, we're very excited to see Lionel get there. Huge news to hear that he's hopping into the show. So best of luck to Lionel. Next on the list is Kuba. Oh man, I kept saying Kuba Cylene, but that's not even close to his last name. Kuba Cylene from the UK. He has a bodybuilding podcast on YouTube. If you guys want to check it out, it's actually very enjoyable. But the last time that we saw Kuba on stage was at the 2020 British Grand Prix, not even a couple weeks ago. And after looking over the footage I have here of him on stage, he actually had really good conditioning. I just don't think he got the best look from the judges. So I actually can have him possibly cracking into this top 8. I could really see him surprising us with a top 8 finish here. And the next competitor we have on the list is Marcelo Pedro de Cruz, or Da Cruz, I'm not sure how you pronounce it. But the last time we saw him on stage was at the 2020 Europa Pro, where he placed 11th in the men's open. And from what we saw in Spain, I really liked his conditioning in the legs. The midsection looked really nice. I mean, overall, he had a great physique. You can kind of see a little bit of gyno in the chest. And his chest really does look undersized compared to the rest of his body. If you're honestly looking at him, it looks like that is a lagging body part for him. Also, his posing is kind of interesting. He doesn't look comfortable. I don't know what it is, but you can't overlook the conditioning, the legs and the abs. I mean, he's very conditioned. Even in the back shots, his glutes are very striated, very separated. And then the upper back looks good as well. So, and he can even pull off a Christmas tree on that right before he hops into that back lat spread. He looks good there. So if he can bring the same level of conditioning that he brought to Spain to Romania, this year's 2020 Romania Pro, I could definitely see him cracking into the first call out. It's really going to depend on, at the end of the day, what kind of competitors are going to show up here. Looking at his Instagram, he looks like he's in pretty decent, good condition. He looks great. He looks very sharp, ready to take the stage. So do not count Marcelo out of your first call out. Next on the list is Samson Daoda, obviously one of the favorites. We have some pretty big swingers in this show, so I'm not sure if he's going to get that first or second place here. If you don't know, he's pretty much been competing all year, just hopping back to back from different shows. So it's really going to be interesting to see the conditioning that he brings to the Romania Pro. He did come in a little off at the British Grand Prix just a couple weeks ago. So if we go off of some people say you're only as good as your last show. But in Samson's case, I think that he's proven that he has great conditioning. It's just he's probably a little burnt out. So I'm tentative to put him in third place here, but definitely not outside the top five. And next we have Clarence Davis, or Clarence Device. I'm not really sure how pronunciation of his name goes. And just going off of probably my favorite package of Clarence back in 2017, I can't see let's see if I can figure out which show it is. And it's not telling me which show it is, but he looked pretty good. I think he got 11th, so not the best placing, or was it 7th? Actually, I think it was 7th. He got 7th at this show. And he looks really good. He looks big. He looks full. He definitely is lacking some conditioning. All right, I had to give the cat some treats. But with Clarence, I think he has a great physique. He's very big, wide. He has great lat insertions. The thing is he going to bring enough conditioning to get that nod from the judges? I think that historically, like I said, the Romania Pro looks historically to be a show that rewards conditioning and beautiful physiques, not specifically mass monsters. So I think Clarence has what it takes to do well at this show. Probably not win it, but looking at his Instagram kind of makes me worry because he doesn't look as conditioned as his best showings. So the question is his best years behind him? I hope not. I hope that he proves me wrong. Clarence, please do. Best of luck at this show, and let's get to the next competitor. So the next guy is going to be Mohamed? It's not really Mohamed, but it's Mohamed El-Aman from Russia. And we actually recently saw him at the Chicago Pro. Not the best showing for him, but still, fairly. His legs look very detailed, conditioned. He has pretty nice cuts in there, in that front double and the front lat. Midsection looks a little watered out in the front shots. The back shots look pretty good. The hamstrings look a little watery. The side tricep looks it's a pretty monster shot for him, but his legs do look a little watery. And I think he's probably at about 85-90% here at the Chicago showing. But the question is, if he brings better conditioning, how well could he do at the Romania Pro? It's definitely to be seen. Best of luck to Mohamed. And let's get on to the next one. Okay, so officially it is, it's taking me a couple days to record this video, but it is the 11th of November, and Regan Grimes is officially on the scorecard. So we're not going to talk about him. Let's move right into, obviously, Regan, I think, is going to win the show if Lionel Bayeki does not. But let's move into Igor Elise. And I had a big spiel I was going to do about Igor on the NPC News Online. His account doesn't work, so you click on it and none of the photos show up. So I'm not going to razz them any more than I already have in this video. I know it's going to get a little redundant, But looking at his showing on his Instagram, October 30th is the last time we saw him on stage, or at least very, very tan and lean. He looked really good. Probably not the best showing, but his legs look good. The back double looks pretty decent. Probably a second call-out competitor. Hopefully he proves me wrong, but I think he looks pretty good. But I don't know. I don't know about a first call-out for him. And the next guy we have on the list is Bayan Ivanov. So apologies, I actually had him in the 212 video, so that's my bad. But everything I said about him is true. I think he has a beautiful physique. He's very lean looking. I definitely can see him doing well at this show. He kind of is a smaller competitor, if we're being honest. And the last time we saw him was at the 2019 Romania Pro. So it looks like, or 2018, sorry. 2019. So he looks like he only really does the Romania Pro. The 2018 and 2019 Romania Pro, respectively. In 2018, he placed 6th, and the 2019, he placed 7th. So the question is, can he make the improvements to get a first-round call-out at the 2020 Romania Pro? That is yet to be seen. And Patrick Johnson is going to be the next one. Obviously, we've already talked in depth about Patrick, very open and transparent about his conditioning and his transition poses, his posing on Instagram. So typically when it comes to competitors that do that, they're either worried about their placing and trying to increase their stock, or they're very confident in their conditioning and they know that they're going to do well. So hopefully it is the latter, and we see a very good package from Patrick Johnson at the Romania Pro. Another competitor I'm very excited for is, I apologize for the butchering, but Theo Legurier. He did very, very well at the British Grand Prix, where he actually won up to Samson Daoda. So, logically, in bodybuilding logic, I would have Theo in 3rd if I put Samson in 4th. There really is a lot of big competitors, a lot of big swingers, big hitters. I should probably say big hitters, not big swingers. Sounds kind of funny. But I definitely have a lot of hype, a lot of enthusiasm going towards Theo. Very aesthetic, very clean lines, tiny waist. Since Mark Hector isn't going to be here, Theo probably is going to pick up the gauntlet for the best midsection on stage. So really, it's going to come down to what the judges see. Hopefully, like I've been saying, historically, they judge conditioning. So I can definitely see Theo doing very well here. I think it would be a crime if he places outside the top 4. Next, we have Chris Pistoles. I've already talked about him in the last video. Please check out the last video I did on the Men's Open. And let's move into Vlad Sukhoruchiko. So with Vlad, I actually had him in the 212 video. It's in the thumbnail. I made the correction when I was recording the audio, because I do the thumbnails before I do the audio. I don't know why, but I just do. But Vlad looks amazing. I know Mark Hector, in the comment he had on one of my posts, he was talking about Vlad potentially being in the top 4. Very interesting to see. I'm having a real pain trying to find any competition history for Vlad. So if you guys have anything, post a link in the comments below. I'd really appreciate it. But going off of just his Instagram posts, he looks pretty big. I'm not gonna lie. I like what I'm seeing here. He has pretty good legs. His midsection is visible. He has probably mid to high lat insertions, which in my personal opinion, I like higher lat insertions. I really like the X taper, not so much the Y taper. It seems more common, so usually you appreciate things you see more often. But I like his physique. He looks pretty good. His conditioning as of, it just says 2 hours instead of date, but it was probably about a week out. So 2 weeks out, he looked absolutely fantastic. And this is going to be his second pro show. So the real question is, how well is he going to stand up against it seems on a daily basis, a ever increasing heavier lineup? It looks like more bigger and bigger guys, bigger names, bigger repertoires are showing up to the Romania Pro this year. So, like I ask with everyone else, where do you see Vlad Sukhoruchiko placing at this year's Romania Pro? And lastly, as of today, the 11th, the last competitor, number 16, is Thomas Tabasiar from Slovakia. And looking at his competitive history, it looks like he had third place in the 212 at last year's 2019 Romania Pro, and then second place at 2018's Romania Pro in the 212. So it looks like historically, he's a very successful 212 competitor. In 2018, he got 2 second place finishes, and in 2019, he got a third place. So he's moving up. In my opinion, he already looked like a small 212 competitor. Very aesthetic though, and he had good legs to go with it. The question is, how is that going to translate into the open stage against, it looks like pretty big guys. Obviously, best of luck to Thomas. Best of luck to him. We are very excited to get this show underway. As of now, we have 16 competitors, so we have a complete lineup for this year's Romania Pro. It's not going to be a slacking show. It looks like it's very full of seasoned competitors ready to prove their stripes, to earn their stripes at this year's Romania Pro. If you guys enjoyed this more longer, in-depth video talking about the competitors at this year's 2020 Romania Pro, definitely consider subscribing. We have lots more coming out in the near future. And obviously, at the end of the videos, I like to plug my sponsors, sups.com, suppz.com, and goldenerrornutrition.com. The discount links are in my bio on my Instagram at sanch_bodybuilding. Please follow me, and I'll see you guys in the next one.